Hi, welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm Bach. Um, there's a something that you are working on here with the Eight of Pentacles underneath the deck, um, and there's a need for focusing. And I don't know why that is. If something else is pulling your attention away, the Stormy card did lie over here, so this might have been uh, a rough path to be walking for some of you. This is still going on. The second card here, activate peace and calm. So there's this need for stepping out of um, something that has um, been a bit of a battle, has felt like a struggle, a way of. Uh, it feels like it has been going on for quite some time, and it's like there hasn't really been much progress, and you're just kind of like, oh my, this just needs to, something's got to give type of energy. Um, but the message here is that it's important to, focus on being calm, being peaceful, uh, and there are many paths to a bright future. So for some of you, this might have to do with that you are, really, really, really pushing um, something that is not meant to be, or not meant to be in that way that you are um, working on it right now, at least. Um, yeah. So many paths to a bright future, but this is a stormy one that you are on, and perhaps there are other paths. Um, I don't know. We'll see what comes up here at the bottom of the deck, the Six of Swords. So there is this energy here of trying to move away to, away from the stormy thing to calmer waters, to kind of, being more in flow. So let's see, what's the challenging energy here for the viewer spirit? Oh, Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. Um, so there might, be some discussions, some fighting, but it can also. I'm kind of, somebody might have sharp words to say to you about this. I don't know what it's about for all of you, but I kind of feel like, this like tung 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 tung. Someone is just kind of like shooting metaphorical bullets at you, um, in the sense that they're just picking on everything. Yeah, there's just something that's not, not really working with that. That's, well, it's the stormy part. And again, here's the Seven of Cups. So there are choices here. Same as this, many paths to a bright future. And for some of you, this is going, this feels like it's a message to kind of say, okay, perhaps it's time to change your focus and choose another path that's not so stormy. Because it's like this is just sort of like come to, you know, maybe not a still stand, but it's just not moving the way that, you know, would make sense with all the work that's being put into it. Talk to me about this, Spirit. What is the challenge here? Ace of Swords, there's something that needs to be seen clearly for what it actually is. And again, I get this feeling that, it's just, something is just not, Ace of Pentacles and the Moon. There's something about the wealth of this, um, the value that you're not seeing, you know. Perhaps you're trying to create something that's just not going to be as abundant as you think it might be. And there's just something, that's kind of been in this moon energy of kind of being elusive, not really, I get the feeling there's a detail here that you're not noticing about this. Um, so the value of it is not really what you think it is. Um, for some of you, this could cost substantially more than what you think it might in the long run, to create whatever it is you want to create, walk this path. But it's like this is going to come with a much higher price tag than what you're, you know, feeling at this point or believing at this point, because I get this feeling of details again that you are just missing out on. All right, Spirit. Can I know more about this? King of Cups. This is like an energy here. Normally, the King of Cups is very loving, intuitive, you know, but here in this deck, it has the keyword control, which I always find a little weird. But here it's like, it almost feels like someone is trying to tell you that this opportunity is something it's not. They're trying to control a situation um, that supposedly, looks like it comes from a kind place, a loving place, depending on what it is. If this is a relationship of some sort, friendship, family, whatever, um, that you're trying to build something with someone here. There's something off with their reasoning for being, maybe not in the connection, but for doing whatever it is that this is about. So there's someone here on your path that, you don't really... Oh, Tower at the bottom. Yeah, there's just something there you're not seeing in this situation. But I have a feeling you're going to. And again, remember, towers are not necessarily bad. It's often it's just that, something happens that is kind of out of your control, but that does not necessarily mean that it's, a bad thing. It's just, it could be sudden insight. It could be something that shifts. So, don't go all... Here's the Five of Cups at the bottom. So there is disappointment in this. And maybe this is why it's coming up in the reading, because your spirit guide is like, all right, we need to get you off the stormy course and on to another more peaceful path with rainbows and, that energy. Yeah, Ace of Wands and the Magician here. And, okay, and transformation. And, yep, they are wanting you to change course here somehow, because this is, changing a new Ace of Wands here, a new passionate beginning, a new way of manifesting something. Here's the Magician. Focus on more peace, more calm, not the stormy thing. That will, be a transformation with this and the Tower card, to something that is much more stable, much more calm, much more peaceful. So, all right, Spirit, what's the supportive energy for the viewer here? Yeah, manifestations. This is the Page of Pentacles. But see how she's holding up the moon here. There's part of you that already knows this is not a good direction. That's kind of intuitively picking up on that this storm really needs to, not disrupt my life any longer. Yeah. Some of you could get some new kind of offer to, start a new path that's not, going to be as stormy. I'm not quite sure. Talk to me more about that. Yeah, Queen of Swords. This is she's very independent and very like, I see right through you, your bullshit. So this King of Cups energy here, she's gonna be like, nope, not having any of that. Um, very independent energy. I think this is, yeah. Here's the Queen of Cups underneath, and the Ten of Cups, and Temperance, and the Tower again. Huh. Let's see here. Yeah. This Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, that's you. And I am, again, I'm thinking you are seeing something in this situation with whoever this King of Cups energy is. Um, and you're just like, that is not my Ten of Cups. There needs to be balance. There needs to be more, you know, peace, more calmness, more just groundedness, another way of manifesting something, because whatever it is this that has been going on here is just not balanced. So, Spirit, what is going on here? Can we know that? Can we know something about that? A new beginning. You are manifesting a new beginning with the Magician over here. So yeah, again, you know, you're the Queen of Cups. Your intuition already told you this is not a good path for me. And Spirit is like, nope, we're confirming that. Activate peace and calm, and look for a, you know, a brighter path that's not so filled with, well, I don't know that I want to say conflict, but just filled with what, Spirit? Oh, that was a lot. Ace of Cups at the bottom here, so there is love. Nine of Cups. This, you know, is your wish fulfillment, but this is also, you know, the nines are kind of like a single energy. I got this on my own. I don't need that Ace of Cups. And for some of you, you know, you're going to be walking away from a relationship. It can also be a job, but yeah, with the Ace of Pentacles, it can be a job. Ace of Wands here, but you know, it can be pretty much anything. Here's the aces. We have three aces on the table. That's quite a bit. But whatever it is, you are not happy with the situation. And this Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. That's you going like, all right, I have had it with this stormy thing here. It's time for a change. Two of Pentacles. Eight of Swords. Too much stress, too much negativity, too much being in my head about this. And here's the Page of Swords and Three of Pentacles. So someone wants to work on this. And, you know, if it's the other energy, you might be like, well, that's going to take an awful lot of change in order for me to stick to this. Yeah, Two of Swords over here. You're blocking that. For the majority of you are going to be like, nope, this has gone on way too long. It's time for me to get to a different type of energy that's not so combative. Well, Two of Swords is here. And there's the Page of Cups. I think when you know, there might very well come an apology for whoever, you know, this other energy is to you. I just don't really feel like it's going to be enough for you to change your mind. I kind of feel like you're like, nope, there's been too much drama, too much BS going on here. I'm done with this. Can I get some advice, Spirit? Can we get some advice here? Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. This is you looking at this going like, I just don't think it's worth it anymore. I've tried my best. I planted a lot of things in this connection, whether it's, a marriage, a job, some relationship of some sorts, and it has just been too much work, too much storms, not enough payoff. Um, Deception is here. Seven of Swords. Someone might have lied to you. Um, this Tower moment that we keep seeing, could be you having found out that this King of Cups is trying to hide something. Whether, whatever that is. Can we know what that is, actually, Spirit? Can we know what it is? What is this? The Hierophant. King of Wands. And one more. Three of Cups. It could be, this is in some ways a third party energy. So there could be something going on outside of this connection that's actually causing all this stormy energy. With the Hierophant, some of you are married to this person. Why is the King of Wands here? Six of Pentacles. Yeah, someone, has given energy to an outside source in this. For some of you, there's a third party involved. Whether, it doesn't have to be a romantic thing. It can also just be that, someone is working way too much, or, hanging out with, people outside of this connection, not putting their focus on creating whatever, the Ten of Cups was supposed to be here. So, take what resonates with you, but I'm feeling this vibe from this Queen of Cups, like I've had it with this BS. With the Queen of Cups and Queen of Swords, it's like I just don't even. Any advice here, Spirit? Tower again. All right, yeah. Page of Wands. See how she's like looking, into the horizon. She's just like, I'm gonna explore whatever else is out there. And this is your energy. This is you just going like, I'm turning my back on this. Four of Swords, Four of Cups. It's kind of like this. Yeah, I want the Ten of Cups. I don't want Four of Cups. I don't want, to be in this kind of halfway energy thing, and this, also talks about meditation and being more peaceful, and it's kind of like, all right, so I can't even have my Ten of Cups. If I can't have my Ten of Cups, at least I want peace. I don't want to argue. I don't want to feel like the other person is somehow deceiving me. Queen of Cups, she's very intuitive. She's like, well, here's the Lovers. Reliability is the key word on this one here. And I'm like, someone is lying here. This soul bond connection, whatever it is, someone is not telling the truth. So yeah, Chariot, it's time to move on. And this. I don't think this, even though the Tower has kept showing up here, yeah, for some of you, you might not know this yet, but Queen of Cups, again, she is very intuitive, and with the Queen of Swords, you have seen the signs for this. And there's a part of you that's like, slowly but surely, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I had enough of this shit. This feels like a repeating thing to me, like this is not the first time we are in this circus. And, enough is basically enough. For Pentacles, looking for that stability, something that's just like stable and not up and down all the time, and this stormy thing that you have to ride the waves here. Is there anything else, Spirit? Six of Cups. Yeah, some of you have known this person for quite some time. There's a lot of memories, a lot of um, a lot of history, which might also be why, it's, yeah, Wheel of Fortune. For some of you, there's something karmic about this also, but whatever it is, it's ending. It needs to end. Um, and I think you already know that. This is not it doesn't really come as a surprise. It's the Four of Pentacles again. Yeah, you're out looking for stability. Two of Cups. This, I think, is about you being in more balance with yourself, choosing you, balancing your life, going like, all right, I've had enough of all this stormy stuff over here. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing, you know, to, yeah, here's the Hermit, to kind of connect with myself, in a more balanced thing. For some of you, it's about, you need to balance your feminine and your masculine energy, and it's sort of like, all right, I'm gonna work on myself with this Hermit card. I'm going to go and do some healing work so I can become more balanced and choose, better unions next time. High Priestess. So, intuition here. Yeah. If this resonates with you, please click like up and subscribe. I can't even talk. I'm sorry, guys. Uh, um, so, yeah. But, it's a collective reading. Takes what resonates. And if you're absolutely like, no, 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 no way am I, leaving anything behind here, um, you know, just aim for the peace and calm and stay true to yourself. That's that I definitely think is very important. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Big love.